Hey, everyone out there. Mr. Brando is on his way. He is running a little late from work, but he's on his way. Hope you guys like our new backdrop. Trying to get that focused on him when he gets here. Come on. Why is my internet not connecting? He's actually pulling up into the neighborhood now, so he's not that far. He's just a few minutes away. Hope you guys like the backdrop. I decided to change it and add a little color, switch it up from the blue that we had before. Thanks, Sean. Hey, Carol. If I missed anybody out there, good evening. How was you guys' day? How was your Monday? Happy Monday. Gosh, where is my getting the chat on my iPad here? Make sure I got it muted. Texting Mr. Brando, tell him 266 of his closest friends are here. Okay, I see you guys talking. What's 33 cents to 1 USD? What's that? Hey, Jason. Thanks, Cheryl. Decided to pick something fun. He said, wait, who said that? Wait. Preacher Man said it looks like a slot machine. That's actually a radio. It's like a ghetto blaster. This is like a 90s theme, but I love the colors in it. So I was like, we're going to do something a little different. Yep, he's here. I hear the garage opening. Sorry, guys. I'm talking to Mr. Brando. Hey, John. I'll let him make it upstairs and stop texting so I can engage with you guys. Yes, Pimpe, Mr. Brando is outside. How are you doing, Mark? I am well. I'm doing well. I had a busy day. So I'm studying for the CPA exam. I decided after years in accounting and finance that I needed to go ahead and do this. I'm not getting any younger. I have over 20 plus, probably like 24 years in accounting and finance. So for the direction I want to take, I decided I'm going to just go ahead, stop procrastinating, and take the CPA exam. So right now I'm studying reg. So I've been up since like 4:30 this morning studying. I've been trying to like get the studying in early in the day so I can have my evenings free. But yeah, I still need to make my flashcards and all my notes for today. But that's what I'm up to. I can hear Daisy barking, so Mr. Brando is definitely in the building because she's going crazy. Yeah, thanks, Chris. I'm glad you like it. Hey, Bethany. Thanks, Bethany. Thanks, Principal Lex. Appreciate it. Ha! Chris said Mr. B is pulling up in his big body Benz. No, it's not. It's not that, but he's got something. Thanks, Tina. How are you been? Thanks, babe. Yeah, there's something changed, but it went from your taste to a blue guy from Google. Here it comes. We're coming. All right, I'm sending you. Okay. There you are. Okay. Thank God it's Miss April because you two of you got a screen right now. Oh my God. Oh wait, it went off again. Are we there? It shows here. Huh? Can you guys see us? Oh, there you are. There. Can you see us? Yeah, I can see you. Okay. Okay. Hey. Hey, hey, hey. What is going on? Oh, Lord. Y'all just don't know. Freeway life ain't no joke. Oh, my gosh. Okay, y'all. I won't waste anybody's time with the intros. Did you notice the backdrop? Yeah. Did y'all see the new backdrop? They did. We were waiting for you to see. Wiki. This is dope. Man, I want to play my theme song. Daisy's mad at me. I had to give her hugs. She was not happy with me. Okay. You guys, we'll play the theme song at the end, okay? What happened now? Lee. Yeah. It's like jittery. Your screen is a little bit. It's not smooth. It's not clear. The pixel looks bad. Still looks bad? Yeah. Smooth out a little bit right now. I think it's just Apple. Hold on a second. Because I'm seeing... It looks much better. Yeah, there you go. That's normal now. You good. Okay, thanks, bro. Oh, shit, I just hung up on Lee. All right, y'all. I'll call Lee. I'm sorry.
Lee. Okay, y'all, sorry about this. We're totally unorganized. Let's go. Go ahead, April.
I'm April BB.
I am Mr. Brando. And welcome to the status of the Iraqi IQD chat. And I always like to talk a little bit about world news. Okay, guys, so there is so much news out there. We got to get cracking. Okay, y'all, I've got a lot to share with you. I've got a lot of theories I want to share with you guys. But I'm going to run through this news because we're about 10 minutes late, and I apologize for that. Lost my key. I couldn't find it. I had to do some more work before I left. But I think it's notable that we talk about a few things, okay? Okay, I think first on the list is Japanese oil refineries stopped importing oil from Iran. More that people isolate Iran is a good thing, and we'll talk about the isolation of Iran. The waiver, which allows Japan to buy some Iranian oil for 180 days, which ends in early May. What?
Slow down a little bit. I mean, when you're talking, I'm not.
Oh, I'm reading too fast.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I got you.
No, okay. But I'm just saying that, Japan's no longer going to be able to import any oil from Iran, and the more that you isolate Iran, the better off it's going to be. So it's just an acute point that, again, the world is isolating Iran, and even though it seems like Iraq is befriending Iran, they're not. Okay, they're trying to use Iran to get the services they need for the summer for their people, but once that's accomplished, they're going to leave Iran alone. Okay, and then I'm going to show you guys some things that's going to be really impressive about that. Some things that a lot of people aren't even really talking about right now. Okay, and the House of Representatives, Mahdi Halabusi, he was in Washington over the weekend. Now, me and Pempe were talking all weekend about, some stuff that we knew that was going on, and they said that they struck a deal with the Americans, okay? So they were all happy about whatever happens. Everything's looking really, really good. Halabusi went up there, and he said, one of the challenges that we face is the return of stability in a displaced people of the province services and the citizens. So remember that. One of the problems that Iraq faces right now is the thought of the world saying that they're stable. Not that they are stable or aren't stable, but that they are truly stable, okay? They are stable. And that's one of the challenges that they're having to put forth to the world to put on a good face. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. Okay, so he explained Iraq needs two types of projects, including long-term oil and energy sector, which we all know. That's why you've got these major American companies like Exxon, BP, some of these other people. BP's not American, but you get my drift. These American companies that are there, what they're trying to do is open up that floodgate so stuff can happen, right? But they're just waiting for the Iraqi people to say, hey, look, we got free capital flow for you guys. We got everything ready. We're going to be able to get your money in and out. The investment law settled. There's no more red tape. Just be. That's why Halabusi was there. And I'm going to give you all a little sneak peek. I think Halabusi was there to talk about one of our favorite people in Iraq, too. Because there's been a who? You want to give a little? You could tell him.
Oh, Maliki.
Yeah. I know you guys haven't seen the thumbnail yet, but there was an awesome article I'm going to read you guys in a few minutes about Maliki.
The thumbnail's up.
Oh, the thumbnail's up with Maliki sitting on the hand. Did you guys see that? I hope you guys found that very interesting. Maliki's in hot trouble, y'all. Hot trouble. He's in hot percent.
Maliki's a hot mess.
He's a hot pile of stinky mess is what he is. Now, you guys, check this out.
How do I do this?
Just go up there and click the red button. The red.
I'm trying to. Where's the mouse?
Okay. You guys, 75% of Iraq's debt was extinguished because of the summit on May 27th. So the idea and the agenda during the Arab-Israeli conflict, the authorization of the Arab Peace Initiative, the follow-up settlement and developments to strengthening of the budget. Now, remember, me and Pempe were talking about, how do you strengthen somebody's, basically, their portfolio if you're going to look good to somebody? Mm-hmm. You got to be debt. You got to have as less debt as possible. Remember, Kuwait is your example. More debt, revalued currency. Now they're behind debt so far they can never repay it because they basically sold their soul to get a high currency, right? Uh-huh. But Iraq just got 75% given. And Pimpe and I were talking. We realized that the IMF is specifically working on Iraq's credit and their rating. So when we were talking about building our own personal wealth portfolio, what was the one thing that we said we wanted to do away with as fast as we could? Debt. So it makes sense that if an individual would do it, that Iraq does it. 75% of their debt being extinguished is a massive movement towards solidarity for a truly strong economic platform, okay? Mm-hmm. Now, China makes an unprecedented proposal on tech transfer as the trade talks. The reason why that's important, because you guys always like to talk a little bit about Vietnam. Mm-hmm. With Vietnam being said, as these trade talks continue, things go well, we can see something happen with that. Now, ecological transfer, and a technology transfer also called a transfer of technology, or TOT, is the process of transmitting or transferring or disseminating technology from places and in groups of origin to wider distribution among more people and places. Horizontal transfer is the movement of technologies from one area to another. And that's the finer points of what they're trying to get the trade deal with China. It's about tech, and it's about how they deal with tech transfer. That's a big source of argument. They actually could make China walk away from the table. They won't, because you got to understand, if you borrow $1 million from the bank and you can't pay the bank's got a problem, right? So we buy so much goods from them that with these tariffs are involved, even though they're selling goods to us, it doesn't make any sense because they're not making any money. So again, I'll tell you guys a million times, China's broke. You can make your argument about the petro one all you want. The petrodollar is going to be here for many, many years to come, and they're going to deal in the petrodollar. And the petro-yuan, even though it's going to be valued at gold, that gold is not necessarily going to hold a great value because their services are going to be too expensive to deal with. Because they're only going to be able to, everybody's going to dump the yuan and just want gold, right? So they're going to deplete their gold reserves. It doesn't matter, okay? Okay, I put on there as a copy point. Some tariffs stay this strong. This is a message that we're not out the woods yet. One thing is, if China lifts its sanctions against its fellow Asian companies, opening their markets to fair trade. That's part of the trade agreement. America wants them to open up their markets too and let them trade across the board. That is massive, okay? I told you guys Iraq's debt reaches $70 billion, but we just remembered that 75% of their debts are going to be forgiven. So Iraq has a debt of about $70 billion and each year must pay $9 to $12 billion. So Iraq does not have a surplus to distribute to the citizens. Now, the reason why that's important is because remember last week, we talked about the fund, the Citizens Fund, which would do what? Pay each Iraqi 10% basically of the oil revenues. Or
that's the HCL, right?
Well, it's a revised HCL, but yeah, they're talking about the HCL. But right here, they're telling you that because there's $70 billion in debt, they can't really do that. But with the debt forgiveness of 75%, guess what that makes way for?
What?
The HCL.
Okay.
If you don't have the debt, now you can distribute that money to the citizens. So remember, it's not like they're always going to come out and say, hey, y'all, today we're going to do the HCL. No, they put these little tidbits out there for you to kind of piecemeal it all together. And that's why we're king of gurus, and we start by analyzing the information and then putting the two pieces together. That's why I put those two together. I talk about debt forgiveness, and then I tell you about the HCL, because we know that because of their outstanding debt, they don't have great credit, and because they don't have great credit, they don't have a higher, it will increase the value of the dinar when it's time. But because they don't have the amount of funds to pay for the HCL, then that hurts our revaluation because we know they want to be paid and revalued money. Why? Because there's not enough physical currency in Iraq to pay everybody. You see what I'm saying? So it all ties together. Debt forgiveness frees up cash flow. If they revalue their currency, they can pay the HCL off in fewer notes or electronic notes, however you want to look at it, but in fewer dollars, so to speak, keeping their note count down and their value up high.
Well, and I would think too, they got the ATMs, they got the credit in place, right?
Right.
So, you know, if they turn out to be like the United States, think about it. We're pretty much cashless. I mean, not very many people carry cash now. They carry cards.
But you never hear anybody ever mention the note count of the US dollar. Ever.
Right.
Ever.
Right.
Ever. Why?
I'm pretty sure we have more notes now than we did in like the 80s.
Trust me, they have
the
more.
70s.
Yeah, and Miss Bibi, think about this. There is probably more dollar notes in circulation that are a dollar that are ever be Iraqi dinar notes. Think about it. Think about it. And we have the most gold in the world. We have the most oil in the world.
Do we have the most gold?
Yeah, if you look at the gold reserves, the United States is the biggest gold reserve in the world. China's second. Russia's somewhere around third.
And China's second because they took gold from
Brazil. I think it was Brazil.
Oh, I thought they took gold from Zimbabwe.
Well, no, they did, but you can't take their gold. They have to buy gold. They have to buy refined gold. And they bought last year a bunch of gold. But Russia was the world's leader of buying gold last year. And Iraq was somewhere around 37th, I believe. Okay. So there's a big prolonged discussion about the vice presidents and the dispute. But remember, guys, you're not going to see the VPs voted on until you see the cabinet seated. Now, this is your precursor, so you guys write this down. You're not going to see the cabinet members seated because it's not Maliki stalling anything. It's Sauder stalling it, because Sauder realizes that these names they keep putting forward, when they do the research on them, are either somehow connected to Iran or their militia or something. And Sauder's already said, I'm not going to allow Iran to have any influence on our governance and what we do. The interior and the defense are the two most important positions that can be left. Those are going to hold billions, if maybe not trillions of dollars to the Recovery Act and the Reconstruction Act. And if it goes by the wayside, then unfortunately they'll only get one chance at this. You see what I'm saying? So the Reconstruction is the revaluation, and it's the modernization of Iraq, so to speak. Okay, so they're not going to let some Iranian person get in there and ruin it, right?
So Sauder's back being active. His health is well now, or something.
Sauder's back in the country, and Sauder's back kicking butt and taking names. But you got to understand, his motivation is selfish. Also, he wants to control the government himself, and he's doing a darn good job. Everybody's getting mad and saying, "Well, they're going to do a vote of no confidence for Mahdi." No, they're not. Just think about it. No, they're not. They didn't do a vote of no confidence for Maliki, and he raped and pillaged the CBI. They're not gonna give a guy that has no confidence for protecting Iraq's asset. Let the man do his job. And remember, they've never had this much of a seated government ever. So he's protecting our position. Not that I love the guy. I'm just saying that with that, understand the players and understand what they're playing for. So Maliki, if you guys haven't noticed, has gone on this big campaign. His group, his political bloc is out there saying, we recommend him. The State of Law Coalition says that Maliki should get VP. See, the idea here is, since Maliki couldn't get his guy, if he's going to be ousted, if he couldn't get his guy to be interior or defense, because get it, if he's defense, he's protected by military, right? He doesn't need immunity. But if he gets VP, then his immunity starts over. But see, right now, technically, he's still a VP because they haven't elected new VPs. But they're not going to do that probably until they seat those two cabinet members. If they seat them, guess what happens to Mr. Maliki? Bye-bye, Felicia. Get it? You got no protection. You got no immunity. And I'm going to bring that up why in just a few minutes. But this article right here, it's just a smear campaign for Maliki trying to, hey, everybody says I should be the VP. I should be VP. I do a good job. Hey, look at me. I meet with all the important people. Maliki is basically trying to give himself a lifeline because he's dying by the vine. Okay, just give it time. He's going to hang himself, and I'm going to show you how he's already hung himself, and I'll also show you at the relentlessness of what's going on. And you got to think about this post like this. It's kind of like Washington Post, always calling for the impeachment of Trump, right? That's Maliki on there going, hey, look at me, look at me, look at me. But when he got cleared of collusion, the hype kind of died. It's kind of like, wait a minute. We don't have that hype anymore, right? That's Maliki. Once the hype dies, you will look at this and say, oh, I see what happened. He played himself. By him stalling everything out and trying to get his guys in. When he doesn't get VP, he will be up for charges, okay? Now, everybody was asking me about, did I see, oh, that's Eugene, I'll call him back. Everybody was asking about what was on television in Iraq. The IMF was not asking. They were not saying pretty please. They were demanding that the Iraqs free their exchange rate and allow that money to grow. Now, we already know that Iraq never planned on having their money go up in value from basically 1190. This is the president of another company. He never intended for his value to go up from 1190. The idea was to reinstate the currency back to a realistic rate and let it float upwards. Well, we just got confirmation that I had the television station that had it. And shout out to Seamus for sending it to me and Henry. And I posted it on Facebook. I posted it on Twitter. So if we have somebody out there that listens to Arabic real good, if you guys could listen to it, we could translate it for everybody and put it up as a video, okay? Now, remember what I told you guys about Washington. No more exemptions on Iranian oil exports. Washington announced on Wednesday that there would be no new exemptions for Iranian oil exports in May. This is April. May is next. And the sanctions would be imposed on Tehran for continuing the aggressive behavior in support of terrorism and instability. In the Voice of America, Iran Special Envoy Brian Hawk said exemptions given last November to 8 countries, including Iran's top oil buyers, include Asia, China, Korea, India, Japan, and Taiwan, will not be extended. So you guys listen to me. Iraq cannot pay Iran in hard currency. Iran now can't sell any oil to anybody else. Are you guys watching this kind of timeline here? They're being isolated. The mullahs are going to have to do something to free themselves, and that gets some capital flow. The Iranian people know where to blame their economic problems. That's what President who has failed to meet his economic promises. The entire Iranian regime has failed for 40 years, giving priority to its foreign policy at the expense of the domestic policy and failing to manage its economy and its people. Point blank, end of story.
Somebody said, laugh my ass. LMAO. Bye-bye, Maliki.
Bye-bye, Maliki, you stupid sucker. We're going to get rid of his button. I'm going to show you how. And it's going to be so elementary. And that's why you guys are going to laugh when you hear this. Let's skip this. Boring. I get so much news, y'all. Sometimes I don't think you guys want to hear it all. Okay, what was this one?
Itchy Brown Eye says the rope is tightening.
Oh, yeah, y'all. And it is tightening to you guys just don't know the degree. And I'm going to show you who's after his butt. Mahdi recently approved the formation of the Supreme Council for Preventing Corruption. And that is right now. The IMF experts have not been surprised at the transformation of Iraq from a country with a large surplus of liquidity into a country with a financial and a cumulative deficit that owes to international financial institutions and oil companies. But the most surprising surprise that experts have stopped is problem of poverty that pervades various regimes, including more than 70 million of the population. Close to a quarter of the population are unemployed. Products have fallen from $7,000 a year to $4,000 a year, okay? Their poverty rates at an all-time high, in some areas as high as 13% in Baghdad, Kurdistan at 5.2%, and so on. I'm going to show you how they take care of that too. Okay. Now, Maliki has no friends, right? So I give you guys a bit of information and I take a little bit away. Let's go back to Maliki. If you guys didn't see it the other day, Abadi made this big post and said, hey, y'all, I was going to arrest Maliki. I was going to have him arrested because they were going to try to put a coup on me. But he was the one that was in front of all the nations with the armies and commanding all the military, that he was acting like he was in charge. So we know that Abadi was probably lying a little bit there because he was going to try to get Maliki. He had commanded the whole military to have him arrested, but he didn't for whatever reason, okay? But he came out and said, look, I was going to have him arrested. But then he backtracks a couple days later and says, hey, man, it wasn't me who wanted Maliki out. It was Sistani. And remember, when Maliki went to Sistani a little while ago, when he wanted to run for PM again, and Sistani said, no, Maliki, we don't want anybody that's of old blood to be in this new government. We want all new blood. So you, Mr. Maliki, go sit down again. Okay?
You're going to mess up our blessings.
Exactly. So think about it. So now what did Abadi do? Abadi didn't throw himself under the bus. He threw Sistani under the bus. So he's like, it wasn't me, y'all. It's Sistani. But Sistani is like the supreme being. He's like the Ayatollah there. So he dry snitched on him. He was like, it ain't me. I kind of liked you. Me and you was homeboys. We was cool, right? High five. But then in the other thing, he says, but I was going to have you arrested. Oops, no high five. You see what I'm saying? He's putting it out there that he's not afraid of Maliki. That's what you want to see. How do you stand up to a bully? Sometimes you don't just fight him straight off the cuff. Sometimes it takes a little while for things to go and things to go and things to go and build. And now you're starting to hear Abadi say, well, I was going to have your butt arrested. And then he just comes out again. I'll show you guys again. And he says, well, I'm going to abolish the whole state of law and make sure Maliki is not the VP. So now Sistani don't like you. Abadi's on your ass. Excuse my French.
You're not supposed to tell him what you got, what's coming.
So Sistani was ousted Maliki as prime minister. Former prime minister said on Friday that the intervention to change the former prime minister Nouri al-Maliki is a supreme religious Ali al-Sistani calling for not to close the file of rigging the elections of the House of Representatives. So Sistani even said just recently, hey, Maliki, I don't forgive you. No, you're not going to be VP. You're not going to, well, not VP. You're not going to be prime minister. Because honestly, we still can't put our finger on it. We think you're the one that caused all the corruption in the elections to begin with. Again, no friend, Maliki.
But at least Maliki's smart enough not to show his hand. They over there like, we gonna get you, we gonna get you.
And he just keeps walking around, going from person to person, trying to make a friend.
Right.
Okay?
You don't tell them what's coming. You just, you know, element of surprise.
Exactly. You kind of like hit him when he ain't looking. You know what I mean?
Right.
The Iraqi people have inside their homes about 37 trillion dinars. That's what they estimate.
Make him feel safe and warm.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
The best place for your enemies
is close. Close.
Close and
At your breast.
right.
At
right.
your bosom, as they would
Make
say.
them feel comfortable.
Yeah.
Like everything good. You good with me.
Man,
and
we
then,
cool.
Then hang them.
Yeah, and then he gonna do them like he did Saddam. They're gonna publicly hang him in the streets.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You know, the Iraqi, when they talked about Iraqi employment, this is the one article I was telling you guys. A body reveals the decision to arrest Maliki and calls for Abdul Mahdi to implement it. Boom! Bomb dropper. A body demands that Maliki is arrested and wants for al-Mahdi to implement it. Former Prime Minister Abadi revealed the decision to arrest former Prime Minister Noor al-Maliki was in the process of taking office as government. Abadi said the crime of 1/3 of the country's territory in the hands of terrorist element and the 4-year war that followed should not go unpunished, calling on the current Prime Minister Mahdi to show courage and arrest all those responsible, and that included Maliki. First bomb just dropped.
Babe said malignant Maliki.
He is. He's a cancer. Okay. The U.S. just said, this is my second bomb for the night. U.S. affirms Iraq must abide by Iranian sanctions now. Okay. The U.S. economic pressure builds in Tehran. The State Department spokesman, Robert Palladino, confirmed Iraq must continue to adhere to the U.S. sanctions on Iraq. The United States will aggressively enforce its sanctions authorities and entities that continue to engage in sanctionable activity involving Iran will be exposed to United States sanctions. So, but they're warning Iraq, hey, if you guys keep fooling with these guys, we will impose sanctions.
Itchy Brown, I say rumor on the street is Maliki could already be under house arrest.
Okay, y'all. Let me say it like this. How? Think about it. Maliki's a pretty big fish. And I've heard rumors and people trying to tell me that he's been arrested by the DOJ. So, Maliki, you don't think that would make news in Iraq? That wouldn't be leaked? These guys have anonymous sources to leak anything. What they're going to do about projects, who's going to do this, who's going to say that. That would have been leaked.
Right.
I would have heard that one. I'm not saying it's not true, but I'm just saying it's kind of odd. You get all these anonymous sources for all these other articles for any little thing, but a leaky being arrested, that would make front page news. And that U.S. affirms that the sanctions could be, and I'm not saying She Brown Rice is wrong. I'm just saying that that would be newsworthy and it would be out quick. The Treasury Department says they're going to start implementing things on Iraq if they don't stop doing the things that they don't want them to do. Now, one of those things is to buy certain goods and services from Iran, and they're not going to be able to pay them in physical currency. Consequently, Syria is going to suffer fuel shortages. A lot of the region's going to suffer, but it's this type of pressure on Iran, whether it regards to transportation routes of its oil and finance sectors, makes Iraq all that more important to Tehran. So guess what? You don't have trade partners. You don't have people who can give you cash anymore. I don't care what the president went in there and said he was going to do to help them out. You don't have those people any longer. Do you see what I'm saying? Do you see as Tehran starts to fall, so does Maliki. Do you not see the hand in hand, the duality of that? That is an Iranian puppet in Iran itself. The walls are tumbling down. So no more time, y'all. The waivers are up. Now you guys got to start abiding by the sanctions like every other country. That's why China and everybody else is jumping ship.
Sammy D said, did you see that the green zone is open for 24 hours now?
24 hours a day, Sammy. Yes, Miss BB. Yes, the green zone is open. Now remember, that's where they put up all those big pillars and concrete blocks to stop people from coming in and out because they
next to the technocrats.
Well, thanks to the technocrats, because that's because that's the stability everybody's been looking for. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and then Abadi came out again and said, hey, look, man, y'all, they tried to kill me. He said, not subject to a military coup attempt, there was attempts at a political coup, and that they tried to assassinate him. Abadi stressed the following soft power strike method during his term of office that acted silently without noise to win the fruits of winning by hand. Not my kind of thing. He knows that Maliki tried to kill him. And that's why I think after he kind of was going to kick up dust about it, he didn't want to because they tried to kill him. Now, if Mahani doesn't implement the actual arrest of Maliki, then I'm sure that those threats have been given off to him also. Okay? That's not the other bomb I wanted to drop. Okay, there's a big article out there. Now, remember, at the university, Dr. Yakum Nazim Alim, Department of Finance and Banking, they're holding a summit or held a summit in the conference hall specific synopsis entitled Deletion the 3 zeros of the Iraqi dinar, and was divided into 3 axes. The concept of deleting the zeros from the dinar, the expected results of the deletion of the 3 zeros from Iraq, and also the experiences of some countries in the process of deleting the currency. Now, the last time we really heard about a big article was in January about deleting the 3 zeros. To see it now at the banking level and at an educational level, and we've talked to some people here that have talked about banks and them preparing things. The deletion of the 3 zeros is a major event. It's going to happen. They're actually planning for it. They're talking about it. They're preparing themselves for it, okay? So even though you show all this instability in the political scene, you have all the stability in the GOI or the CBI. And remember, they just passed that law by the CBI that said, hey, look, you guys are really independent. They don't need the GOI to make anything happen, but they're waiting for the GOI to catch up to them to make something happen, okay? So.
Pippin said the 90 days is new 90 days start in March. What does that mean? He said new 90 days started in March.
I don't know.
Okay.
Okay. Halabusi, while he was in the United States, asked for 3 more years to free themselves from Iran. I think that's kind of like sorry, not sorry. That's why America said, no, we're not going to extend you any more extra time. He said that we can't abandon Iran's energy supplies, which makes up more than 30% of Iraq's needs. And that the president of the House of Representatives, Mohammed Halabusi, asked the United States to grant Iraq another deadline before committing to its imposed sanctions on Iran. Well, we know how that kind of went. We know the answer to that one. Sorry, not sorry. You're not getting it. You're going to fall under sanctions, okay? But remember, Halabusi was there, and Halabusi said that they struck some type of deal. So I think that deal is beneficial to the Dinarians and the people of Iraq. And I also think that it has a dual meaning. I'll tell you what that is in a second. Now, if this is an article that came out from Zero Hedge, a lot of people love Zero Hedge. I like some of their work too. I think it's really cool. I think that I like the way that they correlate things together. And they were talking about some of these countries coming together to kind of have like this kind of like unified front, so to speak, you know what I mean? And the idea there is that certain of these countries were going to come together and kind of form like a superpower. But remember, the person that was left out of the deal was Russia. Nobody likes Russia. Nobody likes China. Nobody likes Iran. So they were left out of the deal, Russia, okay? Now, there's only one thing missing from all these countries. They don't have enough capital to pull off the power move. So what would be the power move that all those countries in the Middle East basically have in common, with Iraq included, if they were to do it, is the dinar. The dinar would have to be the derivative and valued basically more than $1. It'd have to be $2, $3 plus to supply them with enough cash flow to make the big major move to come up with a one currency system or a Silk Road type of initiative or something like that.
So what Pipe was referring to is the 90-day exemption for Iraq to buy energy from Iran.
It's over. It's over now.
Yeah.
It's been executed that no, they don't get another 90 days.
Anthony Cruz pointed out that your traffic improved after appearing on the Gentleman's YouTube channel.
Oh yeah. To Ben and shout out to Robert from Matrix Portfolio. Yeah, Matrix, man, really cool guys. I did an interview with them last week. And those are the guys that told me all about the Dinar. And that's what I told you guys about. They're going to come on either this week or next week, and they're going to talk a little to you guys about like just world finance, about gold as a standard, about cryptos. These guys are super bright, super smart, super cool. One of them's from Vancouver, Washington. That's my boy Robert. And Ben, super cool guy. I talked to him for like 2 hours before. Me and him have talked every day, and he's one of those people that are in the know about stuff that we want to have on our show. I did his platform first. They reached out to me. I asked them to come on our show next, and he's going to come on here and he's going to talk with us, do like a dual interview system too. It's going to be dope.
Okay. Amy wants to know, so are we looking at July for reinstatement?
I'm still thinking April. I'm all about April, y'all. I'm thinking April, something good's going to happen in April. April and April. Baby's birthday, baby month, baby needs new shoes.
Baby name. Hey, Joe. Yes, R.I.P. Rest in heaven, Nipsey. I'm sorry. Go ahead. I'm sorry. I'm reading comments. Joe said, what up, Mr. Brando?
What up, Joe? Halabusi also said that it was an opportune time for investment opportunities for the United States. And then he comes back a little while later, and guess what he says? He comes back to Iraq and says, hey, y'all, the Americans are here to stay. They ain't going nowhere. So all that troops go home, troops stay. The Americans are here to stay. Even the president of Iraq changed his little tune about that. No, they're here to guide us. They're here to do this. No, the Americans are there to ensure their investment and to shore it up. The Americans are here to stay. So don't worry about that, y'all. The Americans ain't going nowhere, okay?
Anthony says your interview was awesome, very informative.
Oh, the one that I did with Matrix?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. When you get like super duper good people, we talked for like almost 2 hours before the interview, and then we've talked for every day since. Those guys are on the muscle. They sent me the PDF for the Dinar. Super smart guys. I wish I could give it to everybody. I can't. I gave them some promises. And man, they were awesome. And shout out to Mary Lou. Mary Lou also gave me the PDF. And I was going to drop this at the end. I'll wait a little bit. But shout out to Mary Lou too. But yeah, Matrix Portfolio, those are good guys.
Hi, Dwayne.
Hey, Dwayne. This must be old. Hold on. Lee's trying to send me something here. He said play. Oh, closer. Oh, don't say this, Lee. He says that Lee just sent me something, breaking news. He gave, yeah, but Lee, it started in March, but they're not granting them another one. Yeah, we know. We know they granted one in March, but they're not granting them an extension. An extension for the 90 days. So once this last 90 days is up, there is no more 90 days as far as them buying, as far as their, you know what I mean? The sanctions, if they're going to impose sanctions on them after the May date, okay? There's no more extensions going to happen. Now, security forces raided an office, accused Director of Administration building in the Niv province, Jamal Taraf, of following a memorandum of support and judicial inspection. Basically, they raided him, the sources who declined to be named. Integrity found 15 bags filled with 50,000 dinar during the inspection. 400 million dinars was confiscated. SWAT assisted integrity operation. SWAT busted another group of people, one involved, and handed him integrity with an estimated amount of more than 7 billion of these amounts. So you guys think about it. 400 million here, 7 billion here seized. Now, this is the last bomb I want to drop on you, okay? Maliki and his son dealt with companies bribed senior officials to win extraordinary contracts. Now, the important part to note about this is those contracts just weren't contracts with any government. Those contracts that they bribed to get and that they stole the money from and didn't complete the contracts from were from a paper trail that goes all the way back to a company called Sallyport. And they operate military facilities all over the Middle East and Central Asia. But the jewel of the company's crown is located at the air base in northern Baghdad. And they are funded by the U.S. government, okay? Now, the U.S. government gave them basically $1.1 billion, okay? Now, you guys know how the U.S. government is, right? If they give you something and you squander their money, they're going to be mad, okay? Now, Maliki and his son negotiated deals to subcontracting companies and basically took a majority of the money and squandered it. So now the DOJ is sitting here saying the United States Department of Justice is now investigating the violation of U.S. laws that limit external corrupt practices that Sallyport had committed through its relationship with AFAC. The Caliborn file states the government investigation looks into whether the former management of Sallyport, knowing or supposed to have knowledge of the alleged bribes promised by AFAC, that's the bad company, to Iraq government officials. So understand this. I told you guys the DOJ was coming after them. In this article, I'll send it to Ms. Bibi real quick. She can go ahead and let you guys look at it. But that is how Maliki's going down. You don't mess with the DOJ without them having some type of repercussion, okay? Then, once you find out that Maliki's under investigation by the DOJ and they're like a rabid dog on a bone, guess what else happens? Sources, the coalition of Abadi stirring a file against al-Maliki to end his chances of obtaining the vice president of the Republic of Iraq. Come on, wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up.
I'm here, I'm here.
29:46, wake up.
Mm-mm.
Okay.
So you want me to post this one?
Yep. Infrastructure. SWAT forces of the Ministry of the Interior, the current Ministry of Interior, employees with contracts in the project of the Office of the Nivid Project seized 13 billion Iraqi dinars. More seizures. Now, China will suspend its duties on U.S. vehicle parts, whatever. Sauter gave a speech and he said he calls on everybody to end the sectarian because they're about to have some regional voting and embrace the spirit of peace, Arabianism, and humanity.
I'm just gonna post this one.
The bank right there. Oh, here we go. The United States went on file and told Iraq, keep messing with us, you're going to get in trouble, right? So one of the Iranian MPs, he's in the National Coalition, warned against unannounced economics agreements between Iraq and Iran, adding that they may harm Iraq and put them in confrontation with the U.S. The U.S. has already told them, you keep dealing with Iran on certain things, Iran will open 3 industrial centers in Iraq upon a request by Iranian president during his recent visit to Baghdad, which is a breach of the embargo on Iran. Now, if we sense there is some type of breach, the American coalition will go in and they will start seizing things. Iraq and Iran have signed several preliminary trade deals early in March. Iraq officials said as Rouhani visited Iraq, seeking to bolster Tehran's influence and expand commercial ties to help offset renewed U.S. sanctions. That is the last bomb I wanted to drop, was even the Iranian MPs are saying, don't do it. Don't get involved with these people, because if you do, guess what's going to happen? We're going to rain hellfire on you quickly, okay? And I'm open to take some calls, some questions. If you guys got any real quick, we got about 10 minutes left. This will be not a super quick video, but a quick video today. I was a little late, and I just,
I started on time, so it's still a full hour.
Well, yeah, but there was no news while you were sitting here. They said you were just sitting here watching the screen. You weren't even telling them jokes or nothing.
Am I telling them about the CPA exam and how I got up at 4 o'clock this morning?
Oh, you told them about the CPA exam?
Yeah, I told them that I'm taking the CPA. And yeah, I'll talk for a while.
Wow.
You don't have to be a chef.
So you can go back and play
Make a delicious stuffed chicken.
I'll check it out.
I was texting you and I was like, okay, let me put my phone down so I could talk to you guys.
Mm-hmm.
You were asking questions.
Yeah, I'm loving April, Principal Lex. Shout out to Principal. Kenneth, Metroid lessons learned. Can't fly with the Eagles, hanging out with a bunch of pigeons. Nope, or turkeys. Pierre Moore, I enjoyed it. Linda Jackson. Y'all can call in. I've got a little bit of time here. Call in. Ooh, there's a lot of good people in here.
There's 500 and some people.
506 of my closest friends. Here's our first caller of the night, y'all, from Kingston, PA.
To accept, press 1.
We didn't hear the caller's name, but let's go ahead and put him live. Hello, you're live.
Hey, Chris Brando, it's Kurt. Hey, I was just wondering, I missed a little bit of the front half. I was wondering if the E-Dinar could actually be the new currency through the Middle East, so Iran can actually circumvent the sanctions. That's my question.
Yeah, but the only way that actually, I think, will be able to actually take any type of teeth or foothold is if, you know what I mean? That like the currency, the dinar itself had bite. The dinar itself is going to substantiate the E-Dinar from what I got from my crypto friends that gave me the information. So without the real dinar, the crypto dinar really won't have much of a play. Now, the problem with the E-Dinar, and understand that, yeah, Iran is going to have a play in the E-Dinar, but I don't think they'll have enough bite left or enough, regime left to really substantiate anything. But it all centers around the revaluation of the Iraqi dinar.
Right, but I was just wondering if they could circumvent, if Iran can circumvent all the sanctions on them by just buying E-Dinar, and I don't think there's anything that
Oh, like sanctionable? Okay, well, let me give you an example. So, like the Iraqi dinar is basically what? 1,200 dinar per every dollar, right?
Yeah.
Well, the E dinar is like worse than that. So, yeah, they could do it, but you're working backwards to get the same result.
Well, I mean, if it catches up and it does better, they'd be.
Yeah, but the only way it can catch up is if you reinstate the Iraqi dinar and make it its backbone.
Yeah, because if you look at the trends, the E dinar has not been holding its value.
Yeah, it won't hold its value. Yeah, it's hustling backwards. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, well, I'm just wondering if the E dinar gets stronger, are they going to circumvent it that way or not?
Well, the only way it could actually get stronger is if they revalue the actual dinar, though. Understand that
We
point.
already know what's going to happen.
Well, yeah, okay, so let me put it to you like this. So let's say the dinar itself revalues, right? The E dinar gets stronger. Well, at that point, there's only so many coins in existence that, you see what I'm saying? It still would be working backwards. It wouldn't provide enough wealth, not to run a country.
Okay, that's what I was wondering. Thank you very much.
No problem. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye. I mean, and that's a legit question that, you know, a lot of people think that the cryptocurrency world is going to actually add, you know what I mean, a forbearance. Some people call it the mark of the beast, crypto, because that's where the new world currency system is. You see what I'm saying? Oh, y'all, here's Pimpin right here. Hang on. If he talks about gold, I'm hanging up. Hey, Pimpin.
Hey, listen, I don't know if you're aware of this, but I'm going to run this past you. Did you know there was a symposium ran in March with the scientists?
Yeah, remember I just reported it about the three axes of the three
You know, they were talking about what happens. They're running all the different scenarios of deleting the 3 zeros.
I know. We just talked about it.
Right now.
I know. It's cool.
My bad.
Hey.
I had to pull apart two pit bulls and bit the back of my damn leg.
They bit you?
Yeah, they're my dogs. They're alpha females, and one of them's a rescue dog. She's a ex-fighter, and then have another one. Yeah, they're trying to run domain over my house, but the problem is when they get near one another, even if I put them in separate rooms, you gotta understand that I'm a huge guy. I'm strong, and my two female pit bulls when they fight, you can't. It's really hard to separate them. They try to kill one another. Not that I want to bring up anything depressing. You literally have to pick one up and move the other one.
Okay.
It's not an easy thing to do. Even when I have my kids help me, it's not hard.
Pimpin, we're live right now.
Pimpin. Pimpin. Hey, listen. One quick thing before I hang up with you. Do you want to share with them what we kind of talked about with your friend from state security about Halabusi or no?
Yeah. Well,
Sure.
we can do that. I mean, there's only so much I can say, but I'll share this.
Okay.
And I called Mr. Brando and I said, look, a friend of mine knows that, you know, I'm invested in the dinar, but that's not his barbecue. What he's saying is some of the things that we're doing over here might affect your investment. I said, okay. And on his way there, he said, look, we're going over there to strike a deal. And I said, strike a deal? He goes, we're making sure that Iraq is aboard with the U.S. That they're on the same page. Now, me and Mr. Brando talked about this. The thing we talked about is this. There are tons of countries, including Russia and China and the U.S. The goal is to make Iraq the mecca of the trading world. They are going to be the center of the universe in all these trade routes. Now, we talked about this last week. Mm-hmm. But one thing is, the United States, like, look, we're not going to be pumping these billions of dollars into you if you're not aboard with us, all right? So they went over there to secure some kind of deal, didn't say what it was, didn't get too much into it. All I know is that they were there over the weekend, and then he called me up and just said, hey, look, everything went good. We're in agreement. We're on the same page. Congratulations. And I said, wow, what I was trying to figure out, how does that affect, how does it affect what I'm doing? He wouldn't say too much about it other than the fact that the deal we wanted to make was struck. It's a good deal. You'll be happy. That's, pretty much what it came down to. I shared it with Mr. Brando, but the truth of the matter is, that's really all the detail I got. There's not a whole lot to it other than he knows that I'm invested in it and that we're waiting for some good news. You know what I mean? So yeah. he can't say a whole lot. You got to understand that these people work with the White House and they're not going to say too much, but other than the fact that, hey, we struck a good deal, that's what we're doing. That's it. And I already know about the geopolitics of things because I used to be, oh my God, I'm embarrassed to say this, but I used to be a a Democratic strategist, and I worked with Henry Reid for a couple years. But for those who are wondering, and you've been in my group, you know I'm no longer a Democrat. But anyway,
we're not going there tonight. Hey,
yeah, my bad.
we're gonna talk later on, bro, and I'm gonna bring you back later on in the week. We're gonna follow up on some stuff, okay?
Yeah, I don't think and me you talked about this. You know more than I do. I have not. It's crazy how much chatter is going on right now in the dinar world, but not just about the dinar, of course, the dung as well. So that's a good. But I don't think. Me and you talked about this. I asked you, have you ever seen this chatter about the dinar ever? Because it seems to me like there's a whole lot of talking going on about the Iraqi dinar.
Not logical chatter, no. I've heard lots of stuff that never made any sense, but the stuff we're seeing today is more logical and more news-based and more rooted in stuff that you can really grasp and put your arms around than anything. And it all pointing to a good year.
Like not just that, but the chatter is more toward the realistic idea of the Iraqi dinar exchange rate changing. We're seeing a lot of that kind of talk, not just between the so-called gurus, but I'm talking about even in the news. And Iraq is talking about this. There's people that we're talking about that, deal with this, not the guru part, but within the White House that are saying, hey, there's a lot of things going on.
Yeah, like the IMF and all these different people and stuff like that. But we'll talk about that later, bro. I'm about to close this up, but we'll holler about that later, okay, my brother?
Okay, look, with that dude that looking pretty kicking.
Hey, I'm digging this, y'all. Are you liking this 90s background? I'm totally digging it.
But why do I want to hear LL Cool J, my radio?
Man, you know you want to hear Mr. Jackson,
Mr.
Jackson, Mr. Brando's theme song. You know you want to hear that.
Yeah, go ahead.
All right, bro. We'll talk later on, okay? All right, man.
Bye.
Bye now. So, drop the bomb. Okay, y'all. The last bomb is this. I got in my hands the actual IMF paperwork on how they actually revalue the currency, and I have the formula for it. There's a person that I need to talk to that's a Harvard student that knows how to do it to help me tell you guys how it all works. I already have it. I can show you a copy of it, but I can't show you how to do it, but I'll show you a copy of it right here, okay? That is the backdrop of how you figure out the revaluation of a currency. It's about 40 pages. It tells you how through assessment, how through asset, how through resources, that they're going to revalue all the currencies of the world and of the special rights and the special services. As soon as we figure out how to utilize it and how to understand it through our teachings, I'm going to tell you guys it could take me a couple days to decipher it, but that was the third and final bomb. The IMF actually has a formula for the revaluation, okay? Woo, that's a lot, y'all. So if there's no more questions, it's about 10 o'clock. Any more calls? Yep, so that's about it, y'all. I guess we're not going to have any live calls tonight. So let me tell them what's going to happen Wednesday real quick. On Wednesday, I have to go on a trip. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do my live in the morning, okay? When I do my live in the morning, Miss BB won't be here because she'll be at work. And then we'll all talk on Friday back again. But I'll fill in as much as I can on Wednesday from all the news that's happening for the rest of the week. So have an awesome rest of the week. Awesome till Wednesday. We'll talk then. There won't be a Thursday rant this week because we're going to be busy. But we'll talk again Wednesday. We'll talk Friday. On Friday, hopefully, we'll maybe have some decisions about the giveaway, and we'll go from there.
All right.
Love you guys. Talk to you later.
Good
Bye-bye.
night.